Well, welcome to the kitchen, the summer kitchen today. And we're going to be riffing off of the Blue Zone idea. And because it's summer, we want to make sure that we're doing things that are perfect for picnics and outside eating, and things that are just healthier than the typical versions of the foods that we are typically serving at picnics and barbecues and grill outs. So usually we have a big hunk of meat, and then we have some side salads, maybe potato salad, a little pasta salad, and we're going to look at those sides and make them actually the main part of the meal by adding so many good ingredients in them that they can stand alone. And what's unusual about this salad too is that it's going to be using lots of green things. In fact, that is one of the hallmarks of the Blue Zones, is the people that live longest use a lot more wild and green things. They also use a lot more plant-based protein than we typically do. And so this particular Herby salad that we're going to be making, an Herby potato salad, starts out like any potato salad, where you take some little red potatoes and you boil them up. I used a pressure cooker and did it in 15 minutes, which makes it very simple. You press the button, walk away, and your potatoes are cooking. But you can just cook them on the stove in salted water, just the way you would typically. And once they are cooked, you can cut them up and let them sit in the fridge for a day or two before you're ready to make the salad. Now, I'm going to put it into a bowl that would be perfect for taking outside, and going to take my potatoes, which I cut up into fairly large cubes. They don't have to be tiny. And I'm going to do something very weird. I'm going to add a can of chickpeas to them. This is what's going to give it all of the heft and all of the nutrition, because we know that chickpeas are high in fiber, high in protein, high in different minerals and B vitamins, calcium, iron, and fairly neutral in flavor. Most of us keep a can of beans in our pantry. I hope you are. And so they're a very simple addition. Now, to make a typical potato salad, we're going to be adding some celery, and I am going to throw in a little onion. Although the recipe you have doesn't contain onion, I am a real fan of the red onions because they're sweet and they're high in phytonutrients like quercetin. This is one of those things where we're going for color. And so you can use a white onion if you wish, but a red onion is going to be better. So we've got some vegetables in there. Remember, our goal here is to increase the vegetables, increase the healthy ingredients, and let the potatoes they're in there, but it's not like all you see is little white potatoes. I also noticed that when I cook the potatoes, I don't take off the skins. We're not using russet, we're using the little red potatoes, or Yukon Golds would work just as well. And now I put in some egg. This is totally optional, but again, you're adding more protein, and it makes it creamier. It's kind of that typical potato salad. So this is sort of the basis of it. Now we're going to make the dressing. Oh, wait a second. This is another part of this salad that makes it so special, is that we're using some kale and some spinach, baby kale and spinach, and we're going to throw that in as well. Maybe most of us have never thought about adding some greens into our potato salad, but these are very mild vegetables. It's a great way to introduce children to greens, is just by sneaking them into the foods they already like. So I'm just chopping it up a little bit. Both the spinach and the kale came from my garden, so this is very, very fresh. And hopefully you're visiting the farmer's market if you don't have your own garden. Now we're getting some color in there. And as many of you know from other programs, that getting the rainbows, getting colors, getting all these other things besides just the white potato is going to make the salad nutritious and beautiful to look at. So let's make the dressing. This is where things get really interesting, because it's not a mayo dressing. This one is going to be oil-based, and I would have to say herb-based, because it's going to have lots of different herbs. As you can see, I have a selection of chives here. In fact, I do want to put some chives in. kind of, let's put some chives in from the garden. Did you know that you can eat the flowers? So we can sprinkle some of those pink puffball flowers in as well if you wish. They're mild and they do have a slight oniony taste. So I'm just going to chop up a few chives in here. In fact, you could put them in whole because we're going to put this into the blender. I also am using, because we used a lot of celery, I like to save the greens. These are also really flavorful, and so we're going to put them into the dressing as well. It's going to give it more of a celery taste. I have parsley here, so I'm going to throw in parsley, and yeah, and if you didn't want to put the red onion into the salad, you can throw the scallions into the dressing. These scallions were also picked fresh from my garden yesterday. And so we've got about, I'm making a half recipe here, so we've got about a cup of different herbs and things. Now you can have a variety. If you prefer, instead of the parsley, you can put in also basil, dill. I want to add some dill to it because that is going to give it a really nice flavor. I'm not going to mix the basil in this because I'm putting basil in another one of our dishes today, but you can see that herbs are a big part of a healthy summer dining. And the more you can use the fresh herbs, the better, both for health because they're concentrated versions of calcium, iron, folate, magnesium, and even omega-3 fats, believe it or not, are in all the greens. So we've got some dill in there. Now I'm going to put in the other ingredients, which are capers. And I bet most of you know that capers are actually flower buds that have been brined. So there's a little bit of saltiness to them. I'm going to put a little bit of juice in with it. And then we're going to use some lemons. And I've got about a couple of tablespoons of lemons in here. That's good. This is a small lemon. And then some cider vinegar. And of course you can vary this to your own taste, but this is a nice combination with the lemon and the cider vinegar. If you don't have cider vinegar, use red wine vinegar. If you don't have that, you just use white clear vinegar. It's fine. I'm going to use a little bit of mustard. The purpose of mustard in salad dressings is to emulsify the oil and the vinegar, or the oil and the lemon juice. Put about a teaspoon of that. It also adds a salty flavor that is familiar too. Then we're going to put in some salt and pepper and some olive oil, and we're done. So I'm just going to put about, this is to taste, and basically we're just going to put a little bit in for now because we can always add it. And then some pepper. I like to have lots of pepper in there. Okay. And we do need some olive oil. So let's get our olive oil here. And it's about a half a cup of olive oil. Okay. Guess I'm going to measure it. You might want to add a little more, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's turn this on. This is going to be very thick, so I'm going to just kind of get it scooted in here. Probably going to need a little more olive oil. Okay, so what you're getting is a very thick green dressing. And And you can thin it out a bit with water if you wish, but it's nice to kind of coat it. I don't know if you can see this, but it's probably looks a little weird to you, but it's going to be very flavorful. And because you can change the dressing to suit your own preferences for the different flavors that you're looking for, it's going to be kind of your own signature dressing, which is something I like. So you can see that we've got this very green looking herby salad. It doesn't look like the old typical white potato salad that's drowning in mayonnaise, and this is also something you can make early in the morning or the day before, because the flavors are going to melt and they're going to taste even better with time. So this is also makes it very convenient salad to bring to a picnic. And because it doesn't contain the raw egg and the mayo and stuff, it's also a little bit safer. You still want to keep it cold because we did put some hard-boiled eggs in there, but otherwise this salad is not going to make anybody sick with salmonella, hopefully. So that is our herby potato salad, and probably would be a good idea to taste it. So I'm going to take a little bit and we'll see how it tastes. As I said, this will taste better as it sits, so the flavors will become more robust if you make it in advance. It's good. I can really taste the different herbs in there, and it's just the right amount of tartness, and the olive oil adds a lot of creaminess, so it's really very tasty, and you get crunch from all the vegetables. So hope you'll try it.